Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm Dan.
Welcome to the Board Game Rundown, COVID edition. Some of us are more responsible than others.
The wife.
Or we're worried about what Spencer does outside of
Yeah, he's like unrelated.
outside of the show and filming. Thanks for coming, tuning in again. Today we've got some Kickstarters from these guys, a little bit of news, a smattering of news, and then we are going to discuss games. I've got 5 specific ones on a shelf of shame.
Bigger than my entire shelf of shame.
Shame. Oh boy. I think my unplayed game shelf might be bigger than your regular game shelf. But not that we are comparing, because it is not a competition you want to win.
Yeah. Don't worry, you do.
Okay.
I have the idea for the next big board game. Who has the largest shelf of shame?
I need Bob on that show. I think Bob could help me out.
Yeah.
Bob might beat me. Bob might.
Yeah, more than us.
So I'm going to kick off news first.
Sure.
I'm going to get into news. I got one thing for news, which might interest you specifically, but like Spencer as well, but I know you're a big fan.
Uh-huh.
The Asmodee has an imprint, a publishing imprint, and they are going to be doing a series of Twilight Imperium novels.
Oh my.
Interesting.
To flesh out the
the
races
universe,
and the universe and some of the stories and intrigue and politics.
Okay.
So later this year, there will be some Twilight Imperium novels coming to a store near you.
That's cool. I'm wondering if there's going to be an audiobook version. I tend to prefer audiobook. I know that makes me a heathen, but I tend to prefer audiobooks. Because that way I can have an earphone in listening to the book and have a second pair of earphones on doing something else.
You know what's really crazy? I've never listened to an audiobook, but I listen to podcasts all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. I listen to podcasts about books, but I've never listened to an audiobook.
No.
So maybe I need to try to do that.
It's worth it, man. The Star Wars ones are incredible. Because Star Wars, I use the Jurassic Park line all the time. They spare no expense.
Oh.
Like, they have the music, they have sound effects for everything, like footsteps and door openings.
Oh, wow.
And the voice actors are incredible. Like, they go all out, and they are incredible books. But, yeah, that was great news, Tim.
So you heard it here.
Yeah, you heard it here.
All right.
Yeah, that excites me a little bit, except that I'm not big on... Yeah, the universe excites me more than reading. So I'm hoping
Sure.
that...
Well, I thought more Twilight Imperium stuff would get you going.
Awesome. Depending on the race.
Is it going to be as long as the game is?
Oh,
It's going to take you 30 weeks to get through it.
How fast of a reader are you? You probably read quickly.
Oh, really? Okay. Read slow, take it in.
Yeah.
Absorb it.
I can read fast, but I prefer to take my time.
Sure.
Do you have any news?
I don't have any news.
That's fine. I didn't have any news last week. It's fine.
You don't have to have news. It's not a requirement.
I did a little bit of news research. Now, not all my news is 100% current, but all of it like hasn't happened yet. You know what I'm saying? So like there are things that they talked about 6 months ago.
So you're not going to talk about like a 2015 press
Did you know
release.
they're coming out with a game called Pandemic?
What?
So a couple things. First of all, this is probably the most modern one because this came out on May 4th.
Oh, Star Wars Day.
Yes. So there is
Is it Star Wars related?
Maybe. There's a series of games that I really like that tends to be hated on a bit. And I call it the Talisman system. I don't know if it's called that.
Talisman's awesome.
Yeah,
I like
so
Talisman.
I like Talisman a lot. I like Relic a lot.
Mm-hmm. I have Relic.
Same system. Plays a little too long. Relic does, I think.
Longer
compared
than
to
Talisman?
Yeah, I think even compared to Talisman,
Right.
Relic plays really long. I haven't played it yet, but I'm really excited. There's a Batman Talisman where you play as all the bad guys.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
that's
now
really cool.
They're now like love lettering.
Yeah,
Talisman,
exactly, which I'm okay with.
They're gonna theme.
But they announced there's not too much on it. They announced that Star Wars Talisman is being worked on right now. You get to choose whether you be the light side or the dark side, which is cool. That's not a very Talisman thing from what I remember. Like, I guess you kind of
Well, Talisman, you just pick a character.
Yeah, I guess. And then they just start with an evil alignment or whatever, right?
Evil or good.
So I guess
it
it is kind of like that. I don't remember that as being a big part of Talisman, though. You just kind of do the
No, because you might run into a guy and it's like, if you're evil, X happens, and if you're good, Y happens, and if you're neutral, nothing happens, because neutral's boring.
The biggest thing that excites me about this game, because, Talisman plus Star Wars, cool, but the biggest thing that excites me about this one is that they clearly know what they're doing for me just from the box art, because on the box art they have Rey and Kylo, of course.
Cool.
Then they have Luke and Vader, of course. And then they have Ahsoka and what's her freaking name? And Seventh Sister. which
Whoa.
that's huge for Star Wars fans. Like getting into
Well,
the Clone Wars.
so
and
because see, and that's why because they just did that Clone Wars extra thing on they
well,
released
sure,
on
but
Disney
Ahsoka's
Plus.
been through all the Clone Wars stuff. But yeah, this
Right,
is
right.
popular now. You're saying?
Yeah, well, and they kind of brought it back, and then
Yeah.
even in it's spoilers for another show. Like there's some stuff that she pops up in.
Sure.
So,
I'm just saying that shows me that sure it's popular right now, but they're clearly paying attention to what the fans want. Because having Ahsoka and Seven Sister on the cover of that game, I think is a big step.
Sure.
You know, like not every game does that. It's Vader and it's Luke.
yeah, or even
Obi-Wan.
Rey and Kylo, right? Like just
Exactly.
to have the new
Like
stuff.
a Star
But
Wars
if you were going to go
Destiny is just
original,
Rey.
if you were going to go original trilogy, there's not like really two iconic, like hero and villain through the whole thing.
What do you mean? Original trilogy?
Not the original trilogy. Excuse me, the prequels.
He just called the prequels the original trilogy.
Right? Oh, yeah, struck by lightning.
Oh my.
Talk about a heathen.
In 1, 2, and 3,
Sure.
You
it
don't-
would be Palpatine.
und.
And Jar Jar Binks is
Well,
the bad
or
guy.
actually, it would be the classic picture of Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar, right? The interlocked. That
Yeah,
would
but that's
probably be
that's
it.
for a half a movie.
Correct. I'm just saying that that's the overall bad guy.
Right,
versus
right.
good
But
guy.
it's not Luke and Vader
I
or
agree.
Rey and Kylo,
I
right?
agree. That's why people don't like the writing of those movies, Tim.
No, there's so many other reasons,
Yeah.
like midichlorians.
We don't
It
talk
would be,
about that.
it would
Even
be
George
Mickey
Lucas doesn't
Mouse
talk about
and
that.
George Lucas.
Wow. Okay. A couple of other things. This one was interesting to me. It doesn't
Yes.
interest me that much, but it interests me. You know what I'm saying? It interests me because it interests other people.
Ooh.
So there's a game coming out called Small World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Small
That's
Warcraft.
so funny to me. So that's cool. I just want to talk about that. Not super modern news. I think that's the one that I said was like announced technically 6 months ago or something.
Yeah, but I just in the last I forgot all about
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then there's been this big media push in the last
Sure.
last week.
But,
I think.
that is genius because
is.
those are two. So Small World is a great game.
I have all of it.
And World of Warcraft is a huge IP. And like to combine it and in a clever Small World of Warcraft, that's such a funny name to me. I saw that and I was like, I love that.
You know what?
And they're probably going to be interchangeable. You could probably
Oh, yeah.
play as the various races. And mix
Yes.
them up.
Yeah.
Here's
And
the
relics.
here's the old man get off my lawn
Oh.
bit. I haven't played Warcraft since it was like a real time strategy game.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I loved it.
Oh yeah, no.
But then
Actually,
once it
I'm
turned-
right with you.
Once it turned into an MMO, I lost interest.
Mhm.
I played the Warhammer MMO a lot and really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
But
I
like
actually-
Warcraft, I was like, meh.
I never liked the World of Warcraft MMO because I saw it destroy my friends' lives.
Ooh.
So-
I did like that South Park about it.
I wanted to play the Warcraft MMO, but I was in college and had too many other things to do at the time.
Oh, sure, you're educated. We
Oh,
get it.
I wear a vest.
Hide my identity from those of my lesser people.
That's right.
What
What you don't know is that under the mask is actually Spencer's twin, and he's wearing the mask so that he can sneak on in the show.
Jeez.
What they don't know is that I actually have one.
Yeah, exactly.
Also true.
Someday we'll have two, and it's like it's a camera trick.
Yeah.
Little news. This is actually funny. I was talking to Tim this morning.
That's me.
And I dropped accidentally a bit of news, I guess, because I said, I guess my favorite Command game right now is probably Sheriff of Nottingham as a joke.
Right.
And you said that's not a Command game, and I said, oh, because it is now. It is now getting a second edition by Command. So so Sheriff of Nottingham second edition is being worked on, and it looks horrible.
Okay, because I'm like,
Oh,
what are you
no.
going to, other than just like a direct reprint?
Well, they-
I don't think there's anything you can do unless you want a deluxe edition and have like
They
metal
include
coins.
some expansions.
Okay.
So they do include some of the expansions from that like modular expansion that you can get for it. That comes with like 5 different modules you can put in.
Sure.
So they include a couple of those. They say there are slight rule changes, but they don't go into what it is.
Okay.
And the biggest thing is that all the art is new, and I hate it. I'm telling you, the second I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, I love the original artwork, like especially compared to this. It's not like the original artwork is mind blowing.
And you know what's crazy
But
is
it
we
fits.
talked a lot about Sheriff of Nottingham
Last week. Yeah. And
Last week.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's the Teen Titans Go of...
Oh.
Hold on.
Sheriff of
Hold
Nottingham.
on. Hold on. I really like Teen Titans Go. I didn't want to like it, and then I got inundated.
But if you look at the art, you're like, oh, no. The art's not nearly as good as the original Teen Titans.
Sure.
You haven't played the Command version yet,
Correct.
so it might be really
Oh, and I'm
cool.
sure it's great with all the expansions that you can do
Yeah.
and
Sure.
with the new rule set. I'm sure it plays great. I was just very disappointed with the art style that they took, especially because it's like they felt like they needed to be so drastically different.
I'm very
from the original
interested,
version.
but Sheriff of Nottingham is such a perfect game
Yeah.
for what it is. Like even without any expansions, right?
Like it still has the cartoony look. It's just very clean. Like it's like the apple is like one green apple on like a white background. And I'm just like,
no,
what
it's not
is
that
this?
clean. It looks like a bag of apples.
No, I'm saying in the new one.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like everything's too clean.
I was like, what are you describing? That sounds terrible. That's not what it looks
I
like.
know. Just look at it yourselves, make your own. Because there are people. I was reading the comments. People are saying, "Oh, I like the art style," and it's like that's fine. It's still cartoony.
Sure.
It's just I just didn't like it. But you know,
I guess if you're gonna find something you really like, out of it, then that's fine. If
Yeah.
it gets people to play that game and enjoy
that's
it,
the thing. It's
then
a
that's
great
fine.
game. So if someday comes down the road and they stop making the original, you can't get it anymore. Get the second edition. It's a
Yep.
fantastic game.
Yeah, it's great.
And then the last thing, I don't know much about this one. I love the look of it. It was called Mercado de Lisboa.
Oh, Lisboa?
Well, it's a market of Lisboa.
Okay.
So made by the same guy, Vital Lacerda.
Lacerda, yeah. Vital.
Made by
Vital Lacerda.
made by the same guy. But so this is more of a close-up look now of I love the look of this board, man. So it's like there's like this part on the left side where it's like there's all the different decks of cards and stuff. I don't know what they do. And then there's like this huge building, like a marketplace, and the roof is like cut out. And it looks like a 3D picture.
Oh, right on.
And then the inside is this huge like tiled flooring area. And
Okay.
so it's tile based and you are purchasing tiles. Like I have a fish market and you're placing it, and depending on where you place it, you build little shops. You're all fighting to be the best market, right? Like I think of like the food court in the mall or something.
Sure.
Right? It's like what it looks like.
Sure.
And you're doing these markets and you're trying to get the most money and customers and stuff. And I don't know much about gameplay, but it's just a tiling game, and the art looks incredible. I love that board.
Lacerda is a really great designer. Usually makes very heavy, crunchy games. So yeah, it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, and I
to
have not
see.
played Lisboa.
Me neither.
I just know very popular. Right?
Oh yeah,
So-
super popular.
So, Market of Lisboa, however you say it.
No, I like the way you said it
Yeah.
first.
The
The uneven.
it's Mercado de Lisboa. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
that's
what
how
it
you-
is. Yeah.
That's what makes it.
Italian.
That's how you know it's Italian.
But
is it supposed to be Italian?
I don't know.
Okay.
It all looks Italian. I don't know.
Oh boy.
But that's it for news for me. Just a couple things that I found interesting.
Sure.
That I wanted to bring up because it was cool. I like
So Spencer, Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. I want to start off with one
You're going to talk about one that we've never heard about.
that we've never heard about.
I'm sure.
probably.
that stuff.
I'm sure we've not
Yeah, never.
never heard about. It's not out yet, right? Or is it
Not
out?
out.
It's not live yet, right?
No, it's not live yet. So this game
We have
is
not talked about it yet.
this is halfway. Have you guys already talked about this game?
No, talk about it. We want to hear it.
I don't know what you're. If it's what I think it is, then maybe.
Go. No, because this is something we are all excited about.
Okay,
And
so
want other people to be
This is
excited
halfway
about.
between news and not news because it should be coming out any time now.
Yep.
I check every day. Nemesis Lockdown.
What?
What's that?
What's that?
Oh yeah.
So tell us, what is this Nemesis you speak of? We've never heard of such a game.
Only the greatest game ever made.
It's up there, man. It is quickly becoming.
We
a great
actually, again, we talked about it before, reviewed your copy
Yep.
on this show. So please go into some of the things that Nemesis Lockdown, right? Lockdown?
Lockdown.
Lockdown is going to have. I should actually know that by now,
Yeah.
as
It's-
much as
yeah.
we talked about
It's
it.
all the same artwork as the original Nemesis.
Perfect.
So, yes.
Amazing
and it
artwork.
is beautiful. And the way they do it is they're, especially getting early, they are allowing you to vote. Do you want it to look like this or this? We already had several votes on which characters we're going to have, on what the cover art is going to look like. So it's more of a community building thing. And they did that with the last, with Nemesis as well. It's technically a standalone expansion. So you can play it on its own, or they're trying to figure out how you can incorporate the rest of Nemesis into it.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
it's solo, right? Also.
And it does have a solo. It has an advanced solo mode that's optional. You can get an app,
Oh,
Nice.
but it's optional.
Nice.
okay.
They are talking about also releasing the original Nemesis
Dun, dun, dun.
with all of the expansions.
Dun, dun, dun. Now you got everything, right?
Well, I have everything except the King's expansion because that one didn't. It came out and I didn't see it when it was on the
Like the add-on and the
yeah,
pledge
the-
manager.
the Pledge Manager.
Sure.
So I'm probably going to be getting those.
Sure.
Even though the King's expansion, in case you don't know, the game comes with queens, and the queens have their own abilities. The kings are just miniatures that you can interchange with the queens. They don't have any special abilities, but you can go online and find some people who've made them.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's literally just a model replacement.
Just a model replacement.
Huh.
But they're beautiful.
Sure.
And you get one for each of the species as well.
I mean, everything in the game is beautiful.
It is.
They
It is.
literally use the old technology of the red, the hidden letters in the red and white swirls.
good.
I don't even know what that's
so
called.
good.
But they use that, and it's so effective. Like I love
The
it.
only bad thing, right, about that is that it prevents us from potentially playing that online.
I know, it makes it so hard. So I got a little more information. They're going to change this out. Instead of being on the ship Nemesis, you're actually now on a Mars base. The base has multiple levels, and each level has a chance of just shutting down. And you might be on that level when it shuts down. And so they're implementing this new light and dark mechanic, kind of like the noise rolls.
Sure.
So, I don't know. They
So if it
haven't
shuts
released
down,
much,
then
but
like the whole level goes dark, and then you've
Exactly.
got, wow.
I'm really looking forward to this. There's a red alert mechanic as well, where when the red alert goes off, you don't know what that red alert is telling you to be aware of, like the car engine light.
Right.
And you have to figure it out through the process of elimination.
Oh boy.
It could be
Or
something
you
simple.
be eliminated.
Well, maybe. Because one of the red alerts is apparently the planet's getting nuked.
Oh,
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, a little bit.
that sounds great.
But you know, nuke it from space. It's the only way to be sure.
Funny.
Oh, yeah.
Funny.
And they're also releasing neoprene mats for not only Lockdown, but for the original.
Oh, it looks so good.
Oh! So I will be spending all of my money on this.
Yep. I don't do
Yeah.
Kickstarter very often. I cannot wait until this.
That is
Oh
a
my
worthy.
God.
That is a worthy cause. A worthy cause.
It really is.
And plus, it's Awaken Realms. I love them.
It
I
is
want
Awaken
them.
Realms.
I want them to succeed. It's a company that is.
Everything
They're-
has been
They're
out of the ballpark.
they're fairly young and they're awesome. I love them.
So
All their stuff's really good.
the only other thing that I have to say about it, other than I really want to play it, is it'll be about $130 to get the original Nemesis with Void Seeders and Aftermath. You can get additional add-ons, which will include the Carnomorphs, which I think is worth it, but they don't have a cost yet.
Yeah.
Oh, for a
There's no
lockdown.
cost for Lockdown.
Sure.
Exactly. They have a cost for everything else.
Everything
except
else.
the new thing.
Well,
I
all
know.
this, right? So they priced out everything. It's easy to put out the prices for everything
Sure.
that you've
Yeah.
already
It's
got.
just funny to go to the Kickstarter for the thing, and you know how to get everything else but the thing.
But if you have not had a chance to play Nemesis,
Call Spencer. Go to his house. Oh,
just
wait.
buy it. Buy it from them
Now
now.
you can buy it. Yeah.
Because it's hard to find. Won't be hard to find for the next, 30 days after it starts.
Yeah.
Do it.
Sure.
It's worth it.
Now I will say, like any Kickstarter, especially one with a lot of miniatures, don't expect it to fulfill on time.
Yeah.
No.
It'll
Right.
take a little bit.
They weren't that bad.
No, I mean, Lords of Hellas went pretty long. Nemesis went a while.
Yes.
But it's worth the wait. When you get the game, like it's not like it's not going to show up. It will.
Sure.
It will show up. Just we've got a friend that always like, well, I've got this Kickstarter and it's 2 months past. It's like, oh, dude,
2 months.
that's
oh, no.
nothing. Go away.
2
talk
months
to me.
past. That means it's right on time.
Talk to me when you waited like 2.5 years for Cthulhu Wars. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
Like
gosh.
it took a while.
Couldn't do
I'm
it.
still regretting doing single wave shipping for Tainted Grail.
Because you're still waiting,
Because I'm still waiting.
and we got to play.
You got
a
the little
scenario-
one.
Yeah,
I got a teaser.
and you saw how good it is.
Yeah.
It's so good. So good. Okay, what other Kickstarters? You got more?
I got a couple. Do you have more than one?
I have one more if you want.
I'll do one.
Oh, I got one, guys.
We'll go off.
It's
in
a small
rounds.
game.
Yeah, is it called Nemesis Lockdown?
It is. You have that too? Okay, never mind. I don't have one.
So I have three, but two of them are really small. So first of all, I just want to talk about this is not going to excite most people, but Legion of War I saw.
Okay.
I like the art style and I like the name, so I clicked on it. It's a TCG. So that
Okay.
instantly gets a lot of people to jump ship, right?
Sure.
But the thing that interested me about it, this is gonna sound kind of weird. So first off, 14 days left with a goal of 80,000. If anyone's interested, 26.
Has it
funded?
Funded?
No.
Yeah. No.
No.
Okay.
None of the ones I'm going to talk about have funded yet, but they all look like they're probably going to.
Sure.
$26 for the base and $179 for the premium with tiers in between. Basically, just so it's a TCG, right? $26 gets you 2 decks, 2 starter decks. The $179 gets you a bunch of decks and booster packs and blah blah blah.
Cool.
But by Eclectic Nerds. So there, I've dropped all the important information. Now, what I want to talk about is the reason I want to talk about this is because I was looking at it and I was like, this is insane. I designed a card game like 5 years ago, and it's this game.
Oh no.
It's insane.
Wait a minute. Is this your Kickstarter? You're just slipping into the show.
You see my little Eclectic Nerds tag right here. No, but so mine wasn't. Mine wasn't a TCG.
Okay.
I guess it kind of would have had to have been just because that the type of game. But honestly, I'm not gonna go too long into it. It was just insane to me because I was reading it. I was like, that's my decision. That's my decision. Like, it was just so crazy to me. Just like, I'm kind of excited, even though it's not really my game.
Right.
That someone else had this idea.
So
and
what's
I'm
the
gonna see
so
it
Legion
come
of
to
War?
life.
What is?
Yeah,
what's
sorry.
the
So
theme?
it's this
Other than war.
different future.
Okay.
Right? So it's like real future, but with different history, right? So
Sure.
like, the Nazis were still in power for longer, so they have a faction and stuff like that.
Right.
Alternate future, I guess you'd call it, right?
Yeah.
And basically just everyone's vying over power. So each deck is like you have a leader. So I didn't write down their names, but you have a leader that's the Nazi general or whatever, right? And then you have your deck of cards, and you can of course build your deck with booster packs and stuff. And there are land vehicles, navy vehicles, so like army vehicles, navy vehicles, and air force vehicles, and air force can only attack air force, land can only attack land.
Sure.
And so you're playing it out, Yu-Gi-Oh style, Magic the Gathering style, and you're attacking each other, and you can block each other's attacks with other matching things. And the goal is, and there are buildings that give you, like, so you can set, this factory gives me faster production on land vehicles because they take turns to spawn.
Sure.
Cool mechanic. But the main thing is attack the enemy's leader. If you kill their leader, you've won the duel.
You won.
Right? And so that's the basic idea. Literally, though, the only thing I had different in my game was I wanted, like, environment cards. Like, if we're fighting in a desert, I have,
I might have
and
a
you
bonus.
can constantly swap out what environment you're
So
playing in and stuff.
when you say booster pack, and maybe you didn't look this deep, but I'm gonna ask you:
Mm-hmm.
do you buy like a booster pack for your specific faction, or is it like buying a booster pack of Magic cards and you're just gonna get? Oh, I got some blue cards, some black cards, some red cards.
As far as I know, to get specific faction cards, it is the starter decks and stuff they give you, and then booster packs are just cards. You get tanks and planes, and then you put them into your deck.
Nope,
yeah.
cool.
But I like all the artwork.
Sure.
I like the name, and I like the idea. So Legion of War.
Sounds neat.
I'm gonna do one more because my last one is the big one I want to talk about. So High Noon. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's like a tactical grid-based Western.
Okay. I mean, I've seen the movie.
Sure. Honestly, it reminded me a lot of that football game, Tim, that you want to do the tournament.
Oh,
in.
Chaos Ball.
Chaos
Yeah.
Ball. It reminded me a lot of that, but like take the football out, right? It's very similar movement and the fighting mechanics, and like it seemed very similar to that. But obviously bigger and purely Western themed. Let's see. So $34 base, $279 all in.
Woo!
And then the thing that really interested me about this one, because I've never seen this before, there was a $119 pledge that's just miniatures only.
Whoa.
Like, I just want
you just get the miniatures. Yeah, so I've never seen that before. I guess they just think their miniatures are going to be that good, or
they better be.
Or if they think there's going to be other games their miniatures work with that they make.
Sure. I mean, I guess if you're running like a Deadlands campaign,
I was going to say
something.
that would be cool, but are they really thinking about? Let's make a pledge for all the RPGers out there that need cowboy miniatures. Like that just seems really weird.
It seems weird, but yeah, somewhere somebody decided, right, that there was a market for that.
Sure.
So.
Maybe there aren't enough. And they're like, well, for that small niche market, we will fill it.
Sure.
Now, is there an apple dumpling gang? Because if there's not, I'm out.
I don't have the official posses right now, but there are 12 different posses.
Ooh, a hole-in-the-wall gang?
In the overall game, obviously, in the cheapest version, you don't get all 12 posses. I think you get 4.
Sure.
But yeah, it's like it comes with, depending on how big of a pledge you get, it comes with like miniature doors and windows.
Oh,
and, you set up a tiled map and you move around your little miniatures game and you pew pew.
I know what we could do is you just buy the miniatures and I'll set up my flick 'em up board.
Yeah, I was thinking that when I was
just
explaining
play
that.
Flick 'em up because we talked about that earlier today too.
But it's miniatures games are fun.
Yes.
And Western themed games, we talked about this not too long ago. There aren't a lot of very thematic Western themed games. I'm not saying this one would be, but I like seeing more Western games come out because eventually you're going to get really cool thematic ones like Western Legends.
Have you played Bang? Bang is good.
I've played Bang the dice game, which obviously is not thematic.
Right.
I've heard Bang is much better thematic wise, but it overstays its welcome a little bit.
Oh, it can, depending on player count.
The only other thing I want to say about the two games, just because people care, is Legion of War is slated for a November release of this year, or shipping, and High Noon is slated for a December release of this year, so not too far away. They're doing pretty good. But that's it for now.
We'll see. You got any other Kickstarters?
I got one more Kickstarter.
Okay.
I went with the normal thing I like to do is find a company that's relatively new. This one is called Lunar Oak Studios, and they're technically a design studio from Italy. It's been around for 12 years.
Lunar Arc Studios. This is the other one I wanted to
The
talk
other one you
about.
wanna talk about. We can
this
talk
game
about it.
Oh, he's
looks
excited.
so good.
You
It
are
does look
excited.
This game looks so
All right,
good.
let's hear it, boys.
In unison now.
Yep, listening.
Sheol.
Oh, in unison, you said?
Yeah, it's
no,
in
I want
unison.
you to talk about
Okay,
it. Sorry,
okay,
I
it's called-
talked enough.
It's called Sheol, Sheol, and it's all, it means something. I don't know what the hell it means, but
I don't remember.
it's a sci-fi based co-op game up to 4 players. It's all about storytelling and strategy, and it's a campaign game. It's like an RPG, kind of like Gloomhaven,
Yeah,
but
almost
for sci-fi.
legacy-ish.
Yeah,
is what it looks
seems
like.
legacy-like. You're going to level up your characters, and as you go through the game, choices you make will affect the storyline.
Yay!
And the Citadel, man.
The Citadel.
Ah.
I gotta
So,
look at this thing.
they
You guys are
have-
way excited.
They have a miniature that's not just one miniature. It's like 12 miniatures that you put together to make the Citadel.
From what I understand, it's as you go through the campaign, you'll be upgrading your main city, your safe
Yeah.
haven, and so it's like, okay, we have the military barracks now, and you literally build this
What?
And
Citadel.
it's huge thing, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Holy smokes. All right, I gotta look into that.
They have a mechanic that I believe is a corruption mechanic. You can get corrupted. So the idea is Earth has been plunged into eternal darkness.
That's the name?
Yeah.
So since Earth has been plunged into eternal darkness, you're fighting these things called shadows, or whatever aliens these
Okay.
are. And they can corrupt your character. As your character gets more corrupted, they gain more strength. But they're now vulnerable to other things. And so it's this really nice trade-off between strength
I
and
thought-
vulnerability.
Chill was like a level of hell or a circle of hell. Like
You know,
that term.
That
Interesting.
term, I believe you are right.
I
yeah.
believe it is something related to that.
I didn't know that. So that's it. So sure, they took that word, they turned it into a acronym for their game.
Right.
Sure.
Perfect. No, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. and
Okay.
It drops on June 10th. I mean, that's when it ends. You have to
Yeah,
get in
there
before
are-
June 10th.
I wrote it
June
down. There are
10th.
23 days left as
gotta
of this,
look
as
This-
of today.
Today, yeah.
As of filming. I gotta look into that. I guess there's not Kickstarter, more news, but did you know that Kickstarter's projects, whether projects being launched or funded, was down 35%
Oh.
so far this year?
Sure.
And I
Because people
find that-
saving money.
I find that interesting because at the same time, during this pandemic, we have had the highest board game funded ever.
Yeah, Frosthaven with over
Frosthaven.
13 million.
And of course
So-
I got in on it.
Well, I guess everyone's like, if I can only back one game.
Yeah.
You can play it remotely.
I have a couple analytics to add really quick.
Let's do it.
That first of all, $96 for the base.
Yeah, for the base.
Okay.
And 140 is the all-in. Those are approximated because they're
Like euros,
they're in
converted
euros,
from
and then
euros.
they're converted, and they still say they're not 100% sure, but that's what they're going for.
Right.
Delivery is slated for October of next year.
That sounds realistic.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to the other two.
Right. I was waiting for you to say October of this year. I'd be like, ah.
Yeah, no. And their goal, I wrote this down. I mean, I wrote the goal down on all of them in case people care, but I found this one really interesting because their goal is 324,163.
Euros.
Oh, you're right. It's probably in euros. I found that number so weird when I saw it, but I forgot. I translated everything else to dollars and not that. So
Sure.
that's what it is. Okay. I was like, what a weird number.
Very specific.
Sure. So it's probably at the 325 mark or whatever. Or I mean, it'll be less. But yeah. So the artwork took me in.
Oh, yeah.
And the only thing that has me weird iffy about the game is that tile system looks really weird to me. I'm not sure how it works. Like they show like the badge for and the miniatures, dude. Oh.
The miniatures are pretty standard.
But they're like these cool like smoke monsters that also have like bone-like looking armor
Yeah,
on
the
them.
shadows.
Oh, they look so cool. But it's like it shows like the the 3D rendering of what their game looks like, and it's like the monster moving on this tiled floor that it looks like the explorers have laid out, like they're exploring into the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And when the monster hits the tile, it flips over and has a different image on it, and like it just all looks really weird and very simple. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just like compared to the rest of the game, this huge thing, and then it's just like flip tiles. Like, it just looks kind of
That
weird.
might be all right.
But
I gotta look at that.
It looks
That looks
incredible.
awesome. That looks awesome.
And a reasonable price for what it looks like you're
Yeah,
getting,
that's
too.
not bad.
So
That's
yeah.
not bad.
excited about that one.
Yep.
Holy
I'm
cow,
glad
guys.
that you also saw it.
Oh
Holy
yeah.
cow.
The only other one I wanted to talk about, I was like, I'm excited about this game, and then I saw how much time was left on it. I'm like, 60 hours.
Oh,
So never mind. We're not going to talk about that one.
Sure. There was an interesting one. Final Girl. Did you see Final
I was
Girl?
gonna ask you if you'd seen it because it's so Tim.
It is.
I didn't write it down.
But I didn't.
I was like, I hope Tim saw this.
I might regret not backing it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to see it.
It's like basically, I barely looked at it, but it's like you're all trying to be Laurie Strode, right? Is basically what it is. You're all trying to be the final survivor.
Right, but what they do, the way they pitch it, it's almost like Time Stories kind of thing, where you've got the main box, which is like a console
Sure.
that allows you to play, and then they give you these. So you're not, the Final Girl is different in each one. So one's at a summer camp. One's you know what I mean? Like one is like, oh, we're out backpacking in the jungle. One is like out like doing different things.
Okay.
So each movie, you know, or whatever, is a different set of characters,
Yeah.
and you're trying to survive a different scenario against a different.
It's not
Villain.
cooperative though, right? It didn't look cooperative from
No,
my
I don't
looking at
remember
it,
now.
so- okay.
I don't remember. Now.
But yeah, I didn't love the art style or anything, but I was looking at it, I was like, I really hope Tim saw
Oh,
it.
I did. I did, and I was like, ooh, so close. So close.
Yeah.
So close. But yeah, no, Final Girl looked kind of neat. So we'll keep our eyes open.
Yeah.
Just to give credit where credit's due, there is one company that tends to fulfill their Kickstarters either on time and sometimes early.
Okay.
Simon.
I thought you were gonna say Simon.
Simon.
Well, they know what they're doing.
They do, and they I believe when things go to production, they've already got all the minis tooled. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
everything's so like the production is faster for them. You know, and I think that they just have stuff in place already. You know, where they can just kick it into gear and go. You know, they're not like falling behind in line. You know, like this factory is making all these miniatures, and
Yeah.
they're going to get through these, and then they're going to make. Oh, and then they're going to get to your game. You know,
Yeah.
so if everything goes according to plan,
I'm
I
pretty
think-
sure it's officially come on now.
it's just Simon. Get off my lawn!
Is
I'll be
it?
that old cranky guy in this one.
Yeah.
It's Simon. Yeah, they wanted to be come on games, right? But
That's
Tim-
what I always called them. It's
Tim,
spelled like
it's
that.
pronounced GIF.
Oh.
it is GIF.
It-
I will always say GIF. Do
It
you
is
say GIF?
GIF, of course
You
it
say
is
GIF?
GIF.
Okay, yeah, I say GIF.
Of course it's GIF. It stands for graphical or graphics or whatever.
Graphic.
So it's GIF.
GIF.
It's so annoying to me. Okay, but that was a pretty good Kickstarter week.
Yeah, that was a good
compared to
Kickstarter
the
week.
last couple,
Good.
like-
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Right on. So we're gonna get into the embarrassing part of the
Let's get into
show.
the embarrassing part. Did you were you able to were you able to make a list?
Do you have a list for your shelf of shame?
Not a list per se. My shelf of shame is not very large.
In all fairness, now that we're getting into this, I wanted to tell you, by the way, because I actually came up with the idea for Let's Do Shelf of Shame. I really don't have that many, but I have games that I have owned for many years and only played once.
That counts.
That
So
counts.
that
so,
counts.
so I included that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
right?
that counts.
But like games I've never played, I honestly don't think I have one just because I'm obsessed. Like if I buy a game, I open it that day. Like
Hey.
and I'm like, let's learn this. You know?
See, you have not come into the problem where I have,
Yeah.
where I go to a convention and then come home with 10.
Sure. In all fairness,
Games.
I did that once, but I did have a week off of work or something after that to
Sure.
test them out. So
Sure. So, who's going first on the shelf of shame?
I'll go first. I don't care.
All right, you go first.
I gotta
Let's
find
do
my
it.
list real quick. Hold on. Be patient. It's right here.
So, while he's looking, in case you don't know what a shelf of shame
Good point.
is,
Good point.
it is if you have bought a game and maybe you've only played it once and you've had it for still 5 or 6 years and you haven't gone back to it, but like you haven't gotten rid of it, or you bought a new game, maybe it's sitting new and shrink, maybe you punched it out and you still haven't played it.
Mm-hmm.
And you...
I think we should include expansions in there.
Oh.
I didn't even look at my expansions,
You
but
can.
it's okay.
You can. I could throw
I think
an
it depends.
arbitrary one
I
on.
think it
there.
depends how big the expansion is too. Like if it's
Sure.
a major expansion, 100%. If it's like this adds 5 cards to the game and I've never used it, it's like
Right.
who cares?
Right.
Like-
I've never used the guest book module for Taverns. That doesn't count. Get out of here.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, what do you got? What do you got? Number 5.
So number 5, this is one that I've technically played twice, I think, but I've only played my copy once.
Sure.
And it is an amazing game, overshadowed by a similar game recently that I've talked about, Captain Sonar.
I love Captain Sonar.
And this one is an obvious reason why it's on my shelf of shame is because I don't have 8 people to sit down, you know? And it's a game, sure, they say you can play with 4 people or 2 people. And it's like, nah, I'm good. That ruins the whole experience.
You need 8 is like ideal.
That's why they even came out with the 2 to 4 player
Right.
version. They're
Sonar,
like,
right.
if you can't play with at least 6, just don't play the game, you know? But yeah, Captain Sonar, amazing game where you're in 2 teams of 4, and you are submarine commanders, and you have a gridded thing, and everyone, it's real time, so where both commanders are yelling out their instructions at the same time, like north, west, and one guy on the other team has to listen to the enemy commander. It's my favorite part is of like any game ever. He has like one of those projection sheets, and he has it on the map, and he's literally just drawing lines of what the other commander is saying, like north,
Trying
west,
to track
and he's
where the
slowly
ship-
moving it around.
Because it like, I ran into land, so they can't be
like
here where I
submarines
thought
can't
they
go
were.
through islands.
The best part, though, is that at that point, that guy's going to go, I know where they're at. Fire the torpedoes.
Yeah,
and then the captain's got to arm the torpedo.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And then the first mate has to be able to tell him, like, torpedoes are ready, Captain. And, like, it's this pure communication
It's
team game.
so good.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Oh, it's
Dude, you haven't played
it's
it.
amazing.
I've not played
It's
it.
incredible.
You own it?
Yeah.
Okay,
what
we're
an amazing experience.
We're making that happen, because I don't own it.
I've been wanting to take it to a Meeple event, because I'm like, where do you get 8 people together that are all interested in the game, you know?
Or you just have a game.
Sure,
like,
a game night.
Hey, guys, we are going to play Captain Sonar.
Sure.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'd have to relearn at this point because, like I said, it's been a long time.
Nah, it's fine.
But it's
It's worth it.
What
It's
a
worth it.
fantastic game! Each role has something completely different. The first mate, every time the commander says a direction, he has to mark off a box. And if
You're potentially shutting
Yeah,
down
and if
systems
any
because you're
marks-
drawing energy.
yeah, and if any marks are marked off, you can't use that system.
And you can
So-
surface to refresh your
Yeah,
board.
but surfacing gives your location away to the enemy commander.
Yes.
So like, it's so good.
So it's hidden movement for 2 teams.
Yes.
Yes.
And you are, and one person on each team is constantly tracking the hidden movement of the other person's team and constantly communicating. Okay, they're somewhere in the northwest, quadrant, like
Good
head
on
up
that.
there. It's so good. But yeah, number
So
5,
good.
Captain Sonar.
It's so good. So dang good. I love
Thanks,
that
Tim.
game. I love that game.
Wish I played it more.
Yeah, well, I wish I played it more too. My number 5 is a monster. It is a beast of a game, and that is why I have not really played it yet.
Sure.
2 years ago? Maybe 3
Start
years
with
ago?
a D.
Nope.
Okay, that'll show up later.
2 or 3 years ago, I tried to play it. No, I don't think it will. I don't think what you're talking about.
Okay.
We tried to play it at a convention. I thought we could do it in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And it really took a good hour and a half to learn. And then by the time we had figured out like how to play it, I think we still had some stuff we needed to learn. But the artwork for the game is beautiful. The design is really, really neat, and there's a lot to it. And I really love the theme. But have you heard of Feudum?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. I just hate the artwork.
Oh, I love the
Yeah,
artwork. It's
most
so
people
weird.
do.
It's,
I'm in the minority.
No, it's
I look at
fine.
that game and I'm like, ugh.
it's fine. It's so weird.
I've heard
and, like,
it's very good.
it's specific. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like
yeah.
it's very much in its own universe, right? And it, but there's like action selection and deck management and territory control, and there's like this weird market. So like if you do something in this market, then it shifts over to this. You know what I mean? Like so resources like get better, but it wraps around the board, right? Like so there's like 4 spaces on this end of the board, and then it goes around to then this end of the board. And stuff moves around, and then it goes back, and then in between those is this map, and you're placing like units, and you're trying to control areas. It looks so good.
I've heard only good things about the game. I literally I see it on the shelf and I'm just like, man.
So I
Weird choice.
yeah. So I saw this morning it's on like Tabletopia. So while we are quarantined, I think I'm going to get on there and just try to grind it out and try to figure out how to play the dang thing.
Yeah.
So then I can teach other people and we can play it because it
great
looks
learning tool like Tabletopia and TTS and stuff like that because no setup time, right? Open it up. Here's the rules. I know how to play.
right,
Yeah.
right. It looks I don't know. It looks amazing. I love the bits. I get it. There's certain games where it's like I like the artwork, but I also get
Oh, sure.
like I get it. Like if you don't like it, that's fine. I totally get it. But yeah, Feudum is one of my big boys. And the other problem, right, is it's going to take a while to play.
Yeah.
So it's hard to just show up like on a game night where you've got 2, maybe 3 hours, and you're like, hey guys, we're going to learn this game. No, we're not.
That's the other nice thing about Captain Sonar, right? Is it's like 30 minutes,
It-
45 minutes, maybe. Like
It does
depending on-
not. It doesn't take long to teach.
Yeah, maybe 45, like with teaching, because there's 8 different roles technically. But like, it's
No, there's
it's
4
testing.
different roles.
I know,
'cause
but
it's
you're
the
teaching
same.
2. I guess you could just pair them up.
Yeah,
and teach
navigators
them.
learn how to do this.
Sure. I've never had to teach the game.
Sure,
So.
sure. But yeah, that's Feudum. It's a beast. It is a beautiful beast that I am happy to have and want to have and I want to play. Actually, had the opportunity at that convention to meet the designer.
Cool.
He's a super nice guy. Like, I will support his endeavors, right?
Nice.
Like, he is a man of the people, like, out there, just trying to... I just respect that, right? You know,
Yeah.
guys that are...
No, yeah, I met Kane Klenko at a convention.
Oh, right
once,
on.
And it was just awesome. He sat down, he talked to me about his design and stuff, and like, yeah, I was like, what a nice guy.
Right?
So yeah, that stuff makes
Right?
a difference. Yeah.
So, anyways, Feudum. Feudum's my big one.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, so-
Thanks for sharing, Tim.
You're welcome. I'll go
I did
home.
manage to figure out 5.
All right on.
They're generally in 2 categories. There's one outlier, and that'll be my last one. But the 2 categories are 2-player games,
Okay.
because I just have a problem trying to get 2-player games, especially if it involves someone being over the age of 9.
Sure.
And legacy games,
Of course.
of course. So the first 2-player game, I can't tell you much about it. It's a game called Sachet. It's like chess. There's some kind of screen as you guys are moving pieces around. There's smaller pieces, fewer pieces, and you're trying to basically get one piece across the board all the way, while your opponent's trying to do the same thing and stop you. It looks like it's a fun little game, but when it's a 2-player game that's going to involve some kind of chess-like strategy, I need to get someone who
We'll
can
sit
actually-
down and learn it and
Yeah.
try to engage.
Yeah,
Sure.
you can probably learn the rules in 10 minutes. But like chess, I could show you the rules, but I'm going to kick your ass, until you've played it with me for a while.
Sure.
Shouldn't say that word. It's going to be
Yeah.
like, boop.
Yeah. Now we've got the explicit. Well, I don't know why you're kicking my donkey. That's the best I got. It's not good.
No.
I was trying to help.
No.
Okay, sachet. Well, and so like the other difficult thing, right, is like typically before quarantine, we'd have game nights at Spencer's on Fridays.
Yeah.
And there would potentially be the opportunity for 2 people to sit off to the side and play a game. The problem is that there's so much going on to like sit down and concentrate to kind of like learn a game is kind of tricky sometimes in that situation.
Yeah.
And then also like inevitably more than 2 people are going to want to play that game, and then there's who's going to play blah blah blah, and then we so getting 2 people just to play one game can be tricky sometimes. So.
Yeah, just 2 people. So just you and one other person.
Yeah.
And not leaving anybody out.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Nope, I get it. What's your number 4?
Oh, I forgot. We're back to me already, man.
Yeah. It can't be sachet, otherwise you and Spencer have to leave right now, go play it, and then come back and report.
4 is a lesser known game, at least out of some of the ones on my list. I got this specifically because I thought it would interest my wife. And we sat down and we started playing. We got like halfway through it, but it was like 2 in the morning, and we were both like, we're really tired. Like, let's just stop. We'll learn again some other day. Never
happened.
I mean, this was a year and a half, 2 years ago or something. Commissioned is what it's called.
I demoed that while it was being developed.
Yeah. So Commissioned is basically a game. I'm going to get this wrong because I only played half of it. But basically, it's like a reverse pandemic where you have a bunch of cubes and you're trying to spread Christianity.
Yes.
Right? So you are the...
You are the virus.
Yes.
No, I mean,
Oh, great.
Wow. You are the like disciples.
Right.
Or whoever. I believe you're playing the disciples in the game.
Yep.
It's been so long. And so you
you're
each
right.
have your own
or
special...
the apostles or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And you each have your own special ability, and it has deck building in it, which I think works really well. It has this weird thing where when you're picking the action you're going to do for the turn, you guys are technically secluded. You have to go away, and it's like a praying thing. Like, so picking your actions is called praying or something, so you're not allowed to tell anyone else what you're going to do on this next turn, but it's a cooperative game, of course.
Right.
And basically you're going around the town and you are trying to get cubes into these cities, because if they explode like in Pandemic, that is you getting Christianity to that city and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's the main point of the game. And I just thought the theme was very interesting, and obviously Pandemic very well regarded. So I was like, that system works.
Sure.
Deck building works. That theme is interesting. And we just haven't played it.
It's actually, for those that know the game, it's very popular.
Yeah, okay,
and
cool.
well received.
I just bought it on a whim one day because I was like, that seems interesting.
I've got a funny story to tell, and my wife will never play that game again for this reason.
For commission?
She'll never play Commission ever
Interesting.
again. It is a running joke in our house. It has been. The very first Geekway convention we went to, which was the first board game convention my wife and I had gone to ever. We went together. We had sat down. They were running like demos of games and stuff, right? So usually, I was under the impression that a demo of a game was usually like, oh, you're going to play like 3 or 4 rounds, or a couple turns, and then you're going to, here's what the game's like, and then you kind of move on, and then they get other people to demo, right? We had done that with Scheming and Skulking, actually,
hey.
right? But that game plays so fast, we could play the whole thing in
Sure.
20 minutes and be done. You played Scheming and Skulking, right? Awesome. So yeah, we sit down. We've got like an hour to kill. We're waiting for because we all stayed in the hotel where the convention was. So we're like, oh, we got like an hour to kill. Everybody's getting like breakfast and stuff. We walk by and they're like, oh, hey, you guys want to play Commission? We're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. Sit down. Like 2 hours later, we're still in, and like I've got like my friends and stuff. They're like, you're still here? And I'm like, I know. I'm trying to get out of here, but these people are really nice. The game's not bad. I just, like we're supposed to start playing other games that we had planned, and there's like no good way to get out. And then finally, we just got to like, we got to go. We're sorry. Like we didn't think we were gonna play like the whole game.
Yeah.
And I hated doing that. Like I hated being rude. I'm not even if I was miserable. Well, I was miserable, but even if I didn't like the game, I wouldn't want to ruin anyone else's experience playing the game. I would just power through, play it, do my best. Not a bad game at all. Thought the theme was really neat, and really well executed.
I'm only playing half the game. You don't have to defend it for me.
Really well executed. But it just now forever has this stigma because that was the game that we got stuck at.
Sure. So it's like if you ever ask your wife to play another game that seems like it's gonna be long, she's like, is it gonna be another Commissioned or like something like that?
I still have a promo card for Commission that they gave us, and like every once in a while I find it, like, oh hey honey, like she's like, get that thing away from me. I heard it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really funny. Commissioned. Yeah.
Someday we'll finish it.
Sure.
It seems interesting enough. I really like the way the deck building works in it, so that's probably what's going to bring
It's
me
a
back.
neat theme, and the mechanics are really good, and there are not a ton of like Christian board games, right? I mean, there's more like.
What do you mean? Biblios is amazing.
Wait,
This is amazing.
I'm just joking because they take all these religious themed games and it's like, you have the blue card.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's not Commissioned. Actually, like theme counts and works and applies. So for that aspect of the market, like, hey, let's introduce some games for for this segment.
And I've heard that's which is funny because you say it goes so long, but I've heard that that's more of a lighter one technically, like maybe tactic wise or something. Because
Sure.
I've heard of another one I can't think of right now, which is annoying, but is like a much heavier.
It was also like they were teaching like 4 people,
Of course, yeah.
at a convention
Well, yeah, like I
setting,
said,
and
just me and my wife learning it. We were playing it for a while. It was 2 in the morning. So it was probably like 12 to 2 maybe.
Sure.
We were playing like 2 hours that
Sure.
late at night. It was just like we gotta stop.
and it seemed longer because we're like, oh no, we're like supposed
yeah,
to.
we were just doing the 2-player.
We're supposed to be out of here. Like we're supposed
Yeah.
like people are waiting on us. Anyways,
yeah, we'll get to it eventually.
it's just funny because that is a
Yeah.
thing in my house specifically. My next one I bought at a convention. I bought the fancy edition because I have this company's other games, Mind Clash games, and I like Tricarion, and I really like Anachrony. So I got Cerebria.
Oh,
Cerebria, where you are playing like either like the gloom side or like the happy side,
yeah, it's
right?
like emotions or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's territory control, but it's like someone's psyche.
Ooh.
So you're trying to achieve dominance. Like what are going to be the dominant emotions?
It's
And-
Inside Out.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
right, without Lewis Black. But there's some area majority, like deck construction, like strategy to it. I have the super nice version with the painted minis, because that's me, I guess. I did not paint them because they actually look good. But I've been dying to play Cerebria. I've had it for over a year. Again, it is one of those games that's like really dense. Mind Clash games tend to be a little more, a little more to them. I get it. It's fine. But so I can't just like hit my wife up and be like, let's play Cerebria. She's out. She is out. But yeah, Cerebria. I want to play it. The artwork's really neat. It's really beautiful. The miniatures look amazing.
That's all I really know about it, is its emotions, and the artwork was
Yeah,
stunning.
yeah.
That's all I knew.
So I will be
This is
learning
my first exposure to it.
Cerebria soon. Get that sucker off my shelf of shame, because that is a big box too.
Yeah,
It's a
sounds
big,
good.
Big boy. So okay, yeah, Cerebria was my number 4.
All right, well then my number 4 is another 2-player game. It's called Kapow.
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 I like it.
I played it one time, so.
And it in the Batman thing.
Yeah.
so stupid.
That's where my brain went when you said Kapow.
No, that's where your brain's supposed to go.
Oh, okay, perfect.
It's a superhero and supervillain. One of you plays a superhero, one of you plays a
Perfect.
supervillain.
I like it. I'm in.
And you start with 2 different kinds of dice. One is just normal attack dice. You have attack and defense and energy and stuff like that. The other one is a die that you put the faces on it, like a dice forge.
Okay, cool.
And so you can manipulate your character, and you have a chart in front of you of all your character's moves. In order to do these moves, you have to roll the appropriate things. So you're paying for those moves with these dice.
Sure.
And so you can hit each other with these things. You can defend each other with these things. It's all at the same time. So you're hiding the dice as well. So also roll for the galaxy a little bit. It's actually a really fun game.
So you roll, assign your dice to what moves you want to do, and then
you reveal, and you go, oh crap.
Sure.
Every time.
Every time. And each character has his own unique mechanic. So one of the characters has a mechanic where he drains health from the other person. Another character has this mechanic where she puts up really cool defenses. And so you have 3 heroes that you can choose from and 3 villains you can choose from. And if you got the expansions, there were some other ones that you could choose from. If you had 2 copies of the game, you'd need 2 whole copies. Then you could turn it into a 4-player game.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
London Dread Terror of London does a similar thing.
Yeah, there just isn't enough. There aren't enough dice for it to be
Sure.
more than a 2-player game otherwise.
Sure.
So
Why have we not played this? This sounds like a lot of fun.
I don't know
Yeah.
why we haven't played it. It's because it's a 2-player game.
Yeah.
And
It sounds like a lot of fun.
I love
would
that
be
kind of, yeah.
I'd be totally into that.
Like,
yeah.
I never played Dice Throne, but Dice Throne always interested me too, because that same idea of that head-to-head, skillful, asymmetric, yeah, I like
right.
that kind of stuff.
I was terrible at Dice Throne and got rid of my copy.
Aww.
oh,
I didn't love it.
No, you were terrible at it. You just said the excuse.
I still own plenty of games that I'm terrible at that I love to lose at.
Yeah,
That's
you know.
true.
Dice Throne,
played.
Dice Throne, I never got the hype. Like
Okay.
I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try this," and everybody loved it, and I tried it, and I'm like, I must be missing something. Played it again. Played it
Did
again.
you try all 12 characters?
No.
You gotta find your character.
I tried like
man.
5 characters and was like, I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
let this go.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I never played it. I just like that idea, right?
Sure. No.
Scaled on a different level, but like vast and root.
But
that kind of
I mean,
stuff.
it is a popular game for a reason. It's a good game. It's just, it just never clicked for me. But yeah, no, but Kapow, man.
so yeah, number 4
I'm
is
in.
Kapow.
Number 4 is Kapow. All right, what's your number 3?
Oh yeah, I already looked, so I didn't have to do that again. So my number 3 barely needs me to talk about it because it's so famous, I think, at
Okay.
this point. But it's a legacy game.
It might be on Spencer's list.
I've only played the first 2 haunts.
Oh, I think I know where we're going with this.
Different.
Yeah.
Different legacy game.
Betrayal Legacy.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to play that.
I want to play it.
I own it, and I got a group of friends and family together. We played the first 2 haunts in one night. Everyone seemed to like it because everyone in my family loves Betrayal.
I
Legacy.
really enjoy
Like
Betrayal
that game
a
gets
lot.
hated on. I love
No,
that
I
game.
like Betrayal.
I went so far in that game as to like record an audio recording of one of the haunts or whatever in the book and purposely set up us to get to that haunt so that we could have this really atmospheric like thing.
I played it in college so many times that we were like, all right, we haven't played this scenario yet.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just going to get to this scenario.
Yeah. Do whatever we can. Where's the wrench?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's not it's got flaws, whatever.
Of course,
but it's fine.
horribly imbalanced.
but
It's
in
still
what
a
other
great
game?
game. It's still a great game.
In what other game are you a mouse-sized person in a toy plane trying to escape killer cats?
Yep, I've done that one. It was so good. And then the next mission you do is a horrific alien from outer space is filling the house with poison and you're all dying. And it's like, what is this game?
I love it. I love it.
But
No, it's
yeah,
so
Betrayal
good.
Legacy is just the legacy version. You go through a story mode, you go through multiple generations of the owners of the house, and I can't wait to play it again. I love Betrayal, so yeah. Bought
So-
it forever ago.
So I'm gonna change my number 3 because you talked about expansions, and I'm like, okay, there's an expansion that is way more important than what my original number 3 was. So my original number 3 was Dungeon Pets.
Okay.
Okay, so Dungeon Pets is like, have you played?
Neopets.
No. It's a Dungeon Keeper, Vlade Chvátil. It's a spin-off of another game which I really like, where you're kind of building your own dungeon. It's like a set collection thing. So like you're like this evil overlord,
Sure.
and you've got minions and imps, and you're recruiting monsters, and then heroes are coming into your dungeon. There's a phase where heroes will be attracted to your dungeon by the types of treasures you have in it, and then you kill them off, and then you get
Boss
points.
monster much?
Not what, but better, deeper, right? So Dungeon Pets is like a spin-off of that, where you're like actually just got like little like troglodyte, kind of critter. You got ugly little critters, and you've got them in their pen, and you've also they poop, and you've got to clean it up. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. It's hilarious, super cute. It has been bumped because there's an expansion that I've never played.
Okay.
It's been on my shelf. Was excited to get it. Haven't touched it. Dinosaur Island, Totally Liquid.
Oh, yeah, you haven't played that.
Well,
You're
I played Dinosaur Island
Sure.
20 times.
Yeah, but you're right. We've never played Total Liquid.
Never touched the expansion. I've opened
Oh.
it up. I've looked at it.
Doesn't that have like the Mosasaurus in it?
I've never even seen
I'm
it.
gonna try that.
Yeah, it kind of, what made me think about it was I just got this Space Raptors like little promo mini expansion from the Godspeed, which is also by Pandasaurus Games. Like one of their things was like you could back and get this promo for Dinosaur Island, and it's raptors in space. So it's a little raptor with like a space helmet on. Like that's it. So don't worry about pressurizing the rest of the raptor.
Yeah,
just
no.
the head.
No.
But anyways, so yeah, I have not touched the expansion for Dinosaur Island. In a way, that's good, right? Because the game itself is
Holds up.
so solid.
Yeah.
The other thing is like initially, I found that I was teaching the game all the time, so I was never going to get the expansion
Yeah.
out to teach the game, right? To learn the expansion as I'm trying to teach the game wasn't going to do it. So we need to get Totally Liquid off the shelf.
And do you have the dual one as well?
I did not get dual.
Okay.
Did not get dual.
Isn't that a 2-player game?
Spencer has a problem with 2-player games. Like, I'm gonna play all these 2-player games, but
I
I'm
want
never
them. I just
gonna play them.
Never
Let's
play 'em.
sigh. So yeah, Dinosaur
Let's
Island, Totally Liquid. I haven't touched it. I've opened it, looked at it, but it's never been set up to play. So
all right.
that's my number 3.
Well, my number 3 is another very famous legacy game, and we have actually played this a number of times. But I'm adding this because we played it 3 times.
Oh, we played
The
3.
reason I'm adding this to the list
First one?
is because it has a second one,
Oh my god.
Pandemic Legacy Season 1
Yep.
and Season 2.
You have season 2.
I have
also?
Season 2. That's why
Here,
I'm
guys, I'll
adding
tell
it
you
to
how
my
season
list.
1 ends.
Yeah, do it.
I think we're living it.
Yeah, I think we are. We're doing badly.
Yeah, we picked the wrong player.
Don't worry. We'll try May again.
Yeah, we'll just.
So, if you don't know how Pandemic Legacy works, it is basically the game of Pandemic, except the diseases get worse.
It's
Yes,
so good.
and the stuff carries over.
We've made it. We've won. Every game is a month. We've won January, February, and March.
We have.
And every time you win, it gets harder because you don't get you get to get rid of 2 of your little special cards. So you only start with 6. You can do the math. We have no more special cards. Pretty sure we're going to be losing April.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean like the yellow event card thingies?
Yeah, we know that
okay.
cards.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So I will say, I respect Pandemic. Do not really love Pandemic anymore. I liked it years ago. I had a lot of fun playing Pandemic Legacy with our group, and
I think it does a really good job storytelling.
sure.
And I think it just does enough even just little things that are obvious for a legacy game, like naming the diseases
Sure.
and coming up with
Well,
these things,
and
I
I-
think it does a really good job.
I enjoy games where they like tighten the screws on you a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit, you know, and you're like, oh no, we
That
were
one
doing
definitely
so
does it.
well, and it's like, oh well, never mind. So I do enjoy that, right? And especially because the groups that I tend to play with, like we get animated, we get
Yeah.
fun, you know, and
Yeah.
get into
I
it.
think it was the first game too where I tore up a card.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
we made a
feeling.
big deal. We made a
Yeah.
really big deal
Good
about
feeling.
tearing up the card for.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling. I did not enjoy
I
it.
loved it. I did not buy the game.
Nice. Hey,
I wasn't even playing it. I just walked in and tore up the card.
if you want, can I borrow your commission?
Oh yeah.
My wife would love to tear up those cards for you. I should give you that promo card.
I'll take it.
All right, I gotta find it. But yeah, I'll give you that promo card.
So that's my number 3 is because it's a legacy game, so I have to try to get the same group in every
It's
time.
been a year.
It's been a year. I have a whole nother version of the game, and I'm going to start just being, all right, people, I know you've never played this game before, but I'm going to just give you a recap.
Yeah.
Right.
Previously seen on Pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. The new April team has moved in. As we're coming into
Let me explain.
The
no,
last
no.
team was
Let
fired.
me sum up.
The last team was fired by the current administration, so here you
Right.
go.
We were doing too well. Yeah, no, pandemic. We got to get in there and finish it.
Fantastic game. I still haven't even looked at season 2. I want to.
I know.
So my next one, this one really annoys me because I love this game system and I love this IP.
Okay.
And I hate the artwork, but that doesn't matter. But I love the game system. I love the IP, and it's just that no one else cares. Like I know.
I want to care. Tell me.
So it's a legendary game.
I'm in.
Yeah. And it's in the Firefly universe.
Legendary Firefly.
Those are
Notoriously
so
bad
good.
artwork.
Notoriously bad artwork.
Right?
I still haven't played it. This is
I will-
actually one of the only ones I don't think I've played it. I set it up and like I went through like a kind of half, like not even a half game with myself. I went through a couple turns for myself
Sure.
to be like, okay, I understand. It's very similar to Legendary. It's this. But no one cares. No one in my family. I mean, even
Call me. I want to play it.
I know.
I love Legendary.
The members
games.
of my family who love Firefly don't care about that type of game, like
Sure.
a long deck building game, blah blah blah. The people I know that were like, oh, I'll play the game, don't care about the Firefly universe. So
Sure.
I'm just stuck in this thing where I have no one to play this with, and I guess you could try do it solo, but boring. Like
Yeah. I've done some Legendary stuff solo. I have more fun playing with other people.
Always.
But
So Legendary is, I believe the Firefly one is, again, I haven't played it, but I assume the Firefly one is similar to the Alien one stuff, to where it is technically full co-op, unlike the original Legendary game.
Right.
So the Firefly, I would assume.
Marvel Legendary, you can play full co-op.
Sure.
Just don't count victory points.
Yeah. But so it's a deck building game where you all have your own. It's weird because I think in the Firefly one you actually have a character. But then you have
Okay.
a deck of everyone anyway.
Sure.
But anyway, and you're just deck building, and you play through the TV show. Like you're like, let's do episode 1. It's almost like the Alien, the Predator, and
Alien
they're
and
almost
Predator
more
both-
episodic, like
Yep.
legacy
Yep.
almost, as opposed to the original Legendary. But yeah, you play through. You can play through them in any order, and they're obviously replayable because you can do everything differently. Like the basic plot points will always happen, but they'll happen at different times
Sure.
and by different causes and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a deck building game in the Firefly universe, man.
Have
it
you
literally
played-
hurts me that I
Have
haven't
you
played
played the Alien one?
I played it
Oh.
once at Levi's, I believe.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. The Predator one's a lot of fun too.
I haven't done that one. I want to do the Alien versus Predator. That sounds
yeah.
incredible.
Well, I've got now Alien and Predator.
Yeah.
I put them in the same box.
See, instead of having the crew of the Nostromo going up against the aliens, we can have the crew of the Serenity going up against the aliens.
Okay, let's do it. And then I'll get Jack Burton out of the Big Trouble in Little China one.
Yeah, he kicks the door down. It's like, you were in space. How
Yeah.
did you do that?
But I'm also going to
Not
fail
Jack
at
Burton.
everything.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you watch Big Trouble in Little China, spoiler alert, he's
He sucks.
he's a terrible hero. He fails at everything.
But yeah, it's called Legendary Encounters Firefly. Someday I'll get to finally play this
I want to
game.
play it. I would love to get a play of that in because
Okay.
I've enjoyed all the Legendary games that I've played so
Yeah.
far. I have a ton of Marvel Legendary, a ton, almost all of it, almost. And then the Alien Encounter or Legendary Encounters Alien. I don't have the expansion for that yet.
Didn't even know there was one.
Yep, and then Predator.
Mhm.
So
So what's your number 2?
my number 2 is one that you guys may not have heard of. I got because I was very excited about. So I love Descent. I really enjoy Descent for me, Descent was made even better when they got the app, because then it stopped being
Sure.
a one versus many and you could just play a co-op. Descent's amazing. Imperial Assault, same way, right? For me, the app is better. Like, I like it better
Yeah.
with the app. This was a game that is similar. It's a dungeon crawler. No app required. Full co-op. It's basically your team versus the board. Sword and sorcery.
Yeah,
And I got a ton of expansions for it. Like,
I've
I
heard the name
bought
before.
I bought a bunch of it off of somebody, and yeah, it's really neat. You're got your heroes, but you're like, you're almost like reincarnated versions of heroes. And then when you die, like, there's a spirit version of you that can potentially get back to a earlier spot in a different part of the map, and then you get your body back, and then you can go back in and try to help everybody. But if everybody's all dead at the same time, you lose.
Okay.
So it kind of gives you like some chances.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
You know,
I like
and-
that mechanic. I like Dark Souls.
And there's awesome miniatures, you know, and it's a dungeon crawl, and there's sort of like leveling up, you know, advancing your character and things like that. Never played it.
Yeah.
Let's sigh.
Sigh.
But Sword and Sorcery, not like super mainstream, but a game that I have that I'm really excited about and want to play. Got it not quite a year ago, so it's not as bad, but again, just getting people together. It's going to have to be like, we are going to play this tonight.
Sure.
You know, not like, hey, pick something off the shelf.
Yeah, there's definitely a list of, BSG, Twilight Imperium. Those are games where you're like,
Right.
okay, this is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing. So, Sword and Sorcery, I'm super excited about. Really want to play. Have not yet.
Okay. Cool.
Spencer, you're number 2.
My number 2. Okay, so this is a little bit cheating because we've already covered this one, but not today.
Okay, no, do it.
It's another legacy game, Charterstone.
Oh.
You guys just played Charterstone. You did 3 games of it.
We did 2. We only got
Okay.
2 in, yes. But, yes.
I've only been able to play it once.
Charterstone is so good.
Yeah, it was really fun. I got it with my wife. We said this is going to be the game that we play together, and then we played it once, and it has not hit the table again.
Charterstone's a really good game. Really solid worker placement game. It starts off very easy, right? And then they add rules, and there's the excitement of opening up the deck boxes and pulling out like the new buildings and the new things that might happen.
It's like Gloomhaven. I've played once, and it's the same thing. You have all these little envelopes in here that you can open some of them, and
Yeah.
new characters, and there's one envelope, and there's always one in these games. It's open this if you dare, or when you feel worthy.
Right.
I'm like, well, I feel worthy now.
Yeah. That's your problem. You always feel worthy. No, Charterstone though, man. Charterstone is really good. There's supposed to be another re-release of it, like another printing of it coming out, which is why we played it recently and filmed it. But yeah, Charterstone's really good. It's very accessible. I do recommend if you can get all 6 players.
Really? Yeah.
Okay.
There are rules that they have to balance it. So if you're only playing with 2, it doesn't ruin anything by any means. But if you can get 6 players, you're going to see more stuff. You're going to get more of the game,
Sure.
for lack of a better. Also, the awesome thing though is the board's 2-sided. You can buy that recharge pack,
Yep.
and you can play it again on the other side. So Charterstone's awesome. Love it, 100%. If you don't, you know what you could do? You could just
Get the recharge set. Play that with my wife.
start again. Get the recharge set and start again with people other than your wife. You've already got a game going with your wife.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
could just get the recharge set and get your own game going. You know, or the board actually has not changed that much from your first play. So you could just start in round 2. The rules are not that much more advanced because it's really just action selection. You know, I'm gonna go here and I get this, right? So it's not that hard to teach people, you know, how to play if you jump in on the second scenario.
Yeah. I mean, I've considered doing something like that so I can start getting to hit the table more, but
It's good.
This
Jonathan went out and bought Charterstone after he played it with us.
nice.
And he was like, when are we playing again? I'm like, calm down. We will play again. It will happen. He ran out and bought one. I was like, you can play
Nice.
this one. Like, we can but he ran out and bought one, which is hey, great.
Well, he's planning on moving away, so legacy games for him are.
That's true.
Gotta have
That's
a copy
true.
of it so I can start.
So you
it
could
over.
take it, yeah, when he goes off to college. So, but
Play
no,
with more
Charterstone,
fun people.
impossible. You do not get more fun than this. We've got all the bases covered. We've got Smart Alec,
Thanks.
Dum Dum,
COVID-19.
COVID-19. I was going to say intellectual, but sure. Also disease infested.
Wow.
Mostly just COVID. But anyway, so that was your number 2, right?
Number 2.
Yep.
What is your number?
My number
your
one.
number 1,
So this one is really hard for me to talk about because I don't know a lot about it. Because
because you haven't played it.
Haven't
It's on
played
your shelf of shame.
this is the oldest game that I have not played by
All right.
far.
All right.
I got this at the Gen Con, the only time I've been to Gen Con.
Okay.
This was my weak point in gaming. This is where I was at a booth and a guy totally talked me into buying something that I probably wasn't ready for. You know, it was that kind of experience.
Yeah, been
But
there.
I got the main game, which was huge.
Uh-huh.
I got 2 expansions for it, I think, and I got the painted miniatures character pack. Now, I mean,
Oh,
these are like horribly painted little horrible miniatures,
No.
but it's cool because it comes with a little guy who looks exactly like Indiana Jones. So I use him like whenever I play like Escape.
Yeah. What'd you get?
Yeah, it's called Secrets of the Lost Tomb.
Oh wait, we talked about
We've probably talked about it.
we talked about playing that one time
Yeah.
because we were going over games. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. The reason I got it is because the theme is very interesting. It's very Indiana Jones.
I love it.
You know, it's almost like take Indiana Jones and Laura Croft and Ellen Ripley and take all these like famous heroes.
Sure.
And then they go into a tomb and have to fight Nazis and mummies and zombies and like,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And so I was like, the theme's nice. I like the theme,
I'm
and
down.
it's very very Betrayal at House on the Hill with the tile laying. There's multiple levels, and you're discovering it as you're going. And so all that stuff looked really cool. The simple fact is just that there is so much in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't, man. Like, it's seriously, it hurts me sometimes
Sure.
to like even try to set it up and learn like the rules. So it's like almost scenario based, I believe, is how you play. And I mean, there's like pages of story
Sure.
that leads up to each scenario, and it tells you, and then like each boss has a totally different mechanic that you have to pay attention to, and the story impacts how the mechanic
Right.
plays, and
Right.
like it just, man, I was just like, I got in over my head.
Sure.
I spent way too much money on something I was not ready for. Like I said, the one super positive thing is I love that little Indiana Jones miniature. Every time I'm playing a game that's even slightly like
Sure.
hinted towards that theme, I'm just like, I got my own guy. I'll play with him.
You gotta get your money's worth out of that.
Exactly. Like we played Betrayal House on the Hill. I'll be Indiana Jones.
I mean-
like I don't care.
Raiders
Yeah, I got a
is virtually the greatest movie ever made. So yeah.
I prefer Last Crusade. They're both great. It's like a 9 point or a 10 versus a 9.8 or something. You know, like
Sure.
they're both great.
Last Crusade is great.
I prefer comedy. I think that
Okay, yeah,
interaction
that's the difference.
is fantastic.
Right.
Between Sean Connery and him. But
It is. It is. Temples.
so
Wait,
good.
what'd you call it? What's your
Sean, the floor is on fire. it is so good.
What was the
did
name
I
of your game again?
Secrets of the
Secrets
Lost
of the Lost
Tomb.
Tomb. Secrets
Yes.
of the Lost Tomb.
Huge box. Yeah. I don't know. Someday I'll have the courage.
So my
try.
granddaddy of a game that is on my shelf of shame, also a huge box, not the biggest box. The biggest box I have in my collection is the deluxe size Ogre, which is still in shrink, but that box will take up this whole table. Like
Wow.
it is, it sits like this tall, but it's like,
yeah.
it's
Crazy.
huge. It's huge. I'll take a picture of it. It's gigantic. But anyways, it's Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
It is
okay, wow.
Gloomhaven for almost the same reason that you have not played yours.
Secrets of the Lost Tomb.
Is because it's like, well, and even more specifically because it's legacy. I don't want to do it wrong.
Sure.
I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like I'm so paralyzed by like getting a rule wrong early and then playing. And I've been told just play.
You know
Like it'll be fine.
I started to play it with my family remotely.
Nice. So recently.
I don't
recently,
judge.
I figured out how to do it. We can break open your set.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard someone, I don't think it was you, but I heard someone just did the simple enough solution of making note card versions.
Yeah, I told them just get an index card. I took a picture of all their action cards and said, copy it. because they don't have to be hidden cards; they're
Right.
action cards. So
Sure.
Yeah, and
You just
that's
have to know what
basically
your
all
actions
you
are.
need.
And you could open
Yeah.
yours up and play out of
yeah,
yours.
so that's what my point. I can open mine up, play out of mine, and we can actually keep yours as the one with all the stickers on it,
Sure.
and then.
And I have the
Good.
removable stickers.
Oh, you
And
have
I-
the vinyl ones. Nice.
And I bought a Daedalus insert for mine.
Oh, nice.
So,
The guy
It
I bought
was
mine
you.
from had he made his own inserts.
oh, right on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right on.
I forgot it's when we were talking about the Oberon.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
when-
yeah.
I was like, I know I heard someone talk about this.
So Gloomhaven's my big granddaddy. I want to play it so bad. So maybe
It's
that's
good.
something you and I will have to do
I would love to.
because it is right up my alley, man. Again, dungeon crawl, story. Like I love
Yeah.
the idea behind the building
Like
of
a
the story.
world.
Yeah,
There's
like the world building.
97 different scenarios.
Sure.
Well,
So,
and I don't know how many stuff you have because I don't know how the expansions work in that game and stuff. But man, the amount of classes in that game
Yeah,
you
so
can play
As you,
insane.
when you make a new character, you get, and I think this is ingenious, you get a personal quest. This is why you are actually adventuring. It's not just, hey, you look like you're
yeah,
going on an adventure.
I'm the scoundrel.
Can I join you?
right.
No. I am here because someone robbed me and I want to go have vengeance and beat up 80 bandits. And so once your character has beat up 80 bandits,
Yeah,
your
they, like,
character
retire.
retires.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you break open a new character class.
Nice.
Yeah. They now go off and live their own life, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden the Sunseeker shows
Yeah.
up, or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're
Sure.
And
called.
then you open up the journal. I have no idea what that means, but there's a journal that's sealed, and you can open that up, and there's all sorts of things. So, yeah, I don't
Can
mind.
we just stop right
I
now?
don't
I gotta
mind.
go play Captain Sonar and Gloomhaven
He
at the
makes
same
this
time.
joke every week.
It's not a joke. I want to play it. So Gloomhaven's my big one. That's
That's
my
a good
big
one.
boy right there. So
All right.
what's your number one?
My number one is an expansion to my second favorite game ever, which is right behind you.
Ticket to Ride.
No, Race for the Galaxy.
Race for the Galaxy. It's a ride.
I really want to play the Norwegian map.
I like the Santa Claus map
Yeah.
myself. No, Race for the Galaxy has 3 expansions in one arc. And then it has another arc of expansions, and they're coming out with another arc of expansions. And you play each arc individually, so you can't combine the expansions from arc 1
I didn't know that.
into the expansions of arc 2. I went out and got a second set of the game so that it wears at the same rate, and I don't have to go filing through 300 cards to try to remove all the expansion cards, just for the second arc of expansions. It's called Alien Artifact. I have yet to play it. I've sleeved it, but I have yet to play it. It comes with a cool new rule where it looks like you actually are now making a map.
Oh, right on.
And you're like moving around this map and collecting stuff, which, if you know anything about Race of the Galaxy, is what?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
Race is
that's a
really
game
just
changer.
its own engine builder, and that's it. Like I'm gonna sit over here and like I might affect you like
Yeah.
a little bit, but for the most part, I'm just trying to get my engine to fire.
And so, it being my second favorite game, a really cool idea for the expansion, why the hell is this still on my shelf of shame?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't have answers for
And
you.
it's
buddy.
not even a 2-player game.
Yeah, good
Yeah, it's
point.
not just
Or
a two-player
Legacy.
game. Or Legacy.
What is wrong with me?
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's.
I cannot stress enough how much I love.
So wait,
Race of
what's
the
your first
Galaxy.
favorite game?
Nemesis, right?
Oh,
It's
Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
I was
say.
comparing the two of them, and I'm like, okay, it's a hard choice for me, but the theme, the thematic, cinematic aspect of
Yeah.
Nemesis just takes it over the top.
Nemesis
a little
is
bit.
trust me,
amazing.
I talked about it recently on our thematic list. But yeah, the only reason Nemesis isn't probably my number one game at this point is just because I don't think I've played it enough to earn that spot. Like
Sure.
I've played Twilight Imperium more. I've played. I don't even know what my second favorite game would be at this point. I mean, Battlestar Galactica is up there.
Sure.
But I just don't think I've played Nemesis enough. But I'm telling you, if I get more plays of this game in,
You know, there's been games
You gotta come
though.
to my game now.
There's games
I know.
that I've played that I've like. There's sometimes I played a game once and I'm like I love this game so much like
Sure.
it's all, but now I've gone on and played them more. But like a couple of games that clicked like right away was Concordia. Like
Okay.
I played Concordia and I'm like this game's amazing. Like I want to play this game all the time. Another one is that Empire's Age of Discovery.
Oh,
I
haven't played that one yet.
freaking love that game so much. You're
Is-
colonizing the new world.
I have to ask this all the time because
Yes.
Concordia I think is the one that's gonna snap for me. I haven't played it yet, but that's the one that you said has deck building and worker placement in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've always said I need a game that has those two things in it because it'll be my favorite game of all
Yeah,
time.
it's got like some. Yeah. You're basically, well, you're playing you're playing your card is going to determine what action you're going to do. So it's more like set collection, deck building, and set collection. What is deck building and worker placement?
Have you played Roll for the Galaxy?
No, I've not played either.
So Roll for the Galaxy is kind of like worker placement and kind of like deck building. It's a
Sure.
tableau building.
Yeah, it
I
looks
like it.
cool. I have race on the Steam.
Oh, yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
So I've messed around with the mechanics of it, but I've never actually played.
I don't
either
know
one.
what expansions they have available on Steam, but I mean the
They
base set
have
is
some,
good.
but I haven't used them yet because I still needed to learn the game.
Sure.
I'm
but,
always willing to teach that game.
Eventually, we'll get these games played. You know.
So yeah, I think we will have to.
That was the point of today. I think this was like intervention.
It's cathartic.
We are not alone.
We are not. Yeah.
Neither are you. If you have a Shelf of Shame game,
Yeah,
put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'll say, hey, I also haven't played that game because I haven't.
Sure.
Probably that's how it
Sure.
works.
And if you know of a Star Wars game that I haven't played, I want to play it because I'm rocking my
I
Baby
still need to
Yoda.
play Outer Rim again.
Have you
I'm-
played the original card game, Star Wars?
Oh
Card game?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That was fun.
Played that bad boy a lot back in the
Yeah.
'90s.
Yeah, back in the 90s.
Ate a lot of 3-foot long Little Caesar pizzas, and because there was one by my buddy's house that wasn't too far, we'd walk over there. They called it like the Bigfoot, and you got like three
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
different pizzas in there.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
We played a lot of the Star Trek.
Wow!
Star Wars. Listen here. I like
What is
both.
wrong with you
I like
today?
both, and that's
You've
fine.
messed up everything.
My mom told me it's fine to like things.
Aw.
I didn't know you were bi, man.
Oh.
Oh boy. Have you played Destiny?
Which one? Oh wait, what?
The dice game, Star Wars Destiny.
Yes,
Okay, just
A
one.
little bit.
I don't know very many people who have played it.
not a
so-
ton.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of it. The problem was that I had it, and then a lot of my friends were not necessarily interested.
Sure.
So,
How about the original role-playing game?
okay, so the West End games where it's all D6s.
Yeah.
I have several books for that stuff.
Man, you've beaten me.
And if you want to play it, we can play it when we're done with our Alien campaign. So
Yeah, maybe.
I can run that all day long. All day long. No, I haven't played there's like, it's not Duel of the Fates, but there's like one older, and I haven't played Queen's Gambit. That's one where you're
Oh,
like,
Queen's Gambit. Yeah, you're right, because that's like impossible to find.
right,
So-
right. And I was not into board games in
Yeah.
2001 or
Yeah.
99, whatever year that came out. So at least
I
not
really
those
don't
board
think
games.
that game's gonna hold up though. Like the
Queen's
people,
Gambit?
yeah, like people who say, "Oh, it's amazing," but like
Well-
honestly, it looks like a game of that period, which doesn't necessarily mean it won't hold up. I have an amazing game called Chopper Strike. I'll have to talk about that at some point, where it's like 2 games of chess, one on top
Oh,
of each
right,
other.
yeah.
I've
Like-
heard of this game.
Like you have tanks and helicopters, and it's literally like a 2 boards on top of each other, and your tanks can destroy the helicopters destroy the tanks, but also the helicopters destroy the helicopters. So it's like 2 games of chess at once. It's incredible. Like I want it to be remade. Like 'cause
Sure.
the only issue with the game is it uses a 2d6 system where you roll 2d6 or a d6 and something else, and one die tells you how many units you can move, and one die tells you how many spaces you can move them. So I'm going to move 3 tanks, 4 spaces.
Oh, sure.
And so it's not as skillful as it could be,
Right,
as
right.
tactical.
Couldn't you just assume a 1-1 every time?
Sure, exactly. I'm just saying that like Restoration Games, like they have on their website, they constantly take suggestions about what's the next one we should do, and I'm like,
Chopper Strike,
take a
Chopper
look
Strike.
at Chopper Strike.
And then you
so
like
good.
log into your other account.
I just imagine what they could do with a 2-layer chessboard with like
Sure.
military theming and like what all new mechanics they could add to it and stuff, you know?
We could probably make it awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for coming on, doing a Shelf
Yeah.
of Shame
Yeah.
show. We will be back again in a week with something else to talk about.
And quite possibly with lockdown again.
Well, that's the first time we've talked about that Kickstarter, and I don't know if you watch this show, but
Yeah.
we usually don't repeat.
No,
We
I
do
know.
our best not to.
So we
do our
never
best not to
repeat
repeat.
by talking
oh,
about
crap,
the same.
I didn't. Oh crap! On my Kickstarter, I forgot to. I didn't write down Lockdown. There's
Oh.
also the game called Nemesis Lockdown.
Lockdown.
So it's a new standalone. I'm just kidding.
What game company is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we will be talking about Lockdown until it comes out.
And then keep.
We'll
going.
do a review of it.
Yeah,
Right.
You better believe.
Oh my god, we're each going to come in with our own copy.
Yeah. I'll review my copy. You review yours.
See, the thing is, spoiler alert, guys, I'm going to let y'all buy that one.
Oh yeah, understandable. Understandable.
Because for me to now get in on Nemesis,
Sure.
like with that, because if I couldn't just get Lockdown, I'd have to get.
Yes, I agree.
And so I'm going to let that one, like.
Yep.
Because I will have access to it.
I do have a bit of personal news that you would enjoy. My
Yes.
wife got tenure.
Yay!
Oh.
Congratulations.
So I am
Amy.
here for the foreseeable future.
She is a tenured
So
professor.
funny.
Well, we thought we were going to lose Spencer for a while. Well,
Yeah.
it was possible.
Yeah, it was possible.
To lose you to a different region of the United States.
Yeah.
And no.
So my copy of Nemesis will probably be available for you for
Yay!
the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so now, your wife just saved me like hundreds of dollars because now I don't have to back Nemesis.
This is the real ending now, guys.
Yeah. But
Thanks.
no, seriously, guys, thank you again for watching. Please be safe. Enjoy playing games any way you can. Get them in. It's great activity with families. It keeps you sane, or at least as sane as I get.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you again. I've been Tim.
I'm Spencer.
I've been Dan.
Oh, I'm glad you guys told me that because I forgot.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. I like it.
I played it one time. So
If you like what you saw,
if you want to see us make more content like this,
please hit that thumbs up.
go ahead and subscribe.
Give us a share on social media.
Remember to ring that little bell. It really helps.
Be sure to check out our unboxing videos
Don't forget we have reviews.
and also the news show.
Thanks for watching the Board Game Rundown.